Hey Hammer fans, I bet most of you weren't expecting this kind of video coming from me. As you guys know, I'm a day one hammer glazer, but I'm a hammer glazer who knows when to draw the line. Most of you have probably seen some of my previous videos surrounding the hammer nerf. I was one of the few people on the forefront of suggesting a 3-hit limiter for the Jackhammer. And while we didn't get exactly that, the hammer is in a far healthier place right now, especially after the recent shotgun buffs. Well, that statement is almost true. There is one hammer that has successfully avoided nerfs and retained several buffs over the past several patches. With the new enemies in Fraud, it has become one of the most powerful tools for controlling them in the cyber grind. You saw the title, it's the Crux Jackhammer. Now, before I move on, can I just say fuck this weapon? Absolutely fuck this weapon. I'm sick and tired of its prevalence in every part of this game. It mogged the hell out of the hammer nerf, and it's eating all of your favorite weapon buffs for breakfast. It's probably a huge reason why a lot of enemy balance issues are going unnoticed, because it has the ability to solve most of them on its own. If we want to see the real state of the cyber grind, we need this weapon nerfed. For real this time. Small tangent out of the way. I think it's important to talk about some vocab. So we're going to be discussing a lot of Crux Jackhammer tech, so I think it's important that we know exactly what we're talking about. First, we have the cream of the crop, double hammer boosts. It's when you hit your rocket and a core to create 2 different hit scans. It's about 14 damage, 2 5 damage explosions, and 2 damage hit scans. Very versatile. I mean, you can apply it to any enemy in the game from any range. And it's about a 1.2 second combo. I mean, you can do it pretty much between any other weapon combos in the game. It's disgusting. Then you have RTC nukes, which is putting your core in the way of a rocket hit scan so that it causes a nuke, usually on top of your position. This will deal a 12 damage explosion directly on top of yourself, and it sort of tapers off to around like 8 and 4 damage as the explosion gets larger and larger due to explosion fall off. Then there's this new tech that's come out. They're called whip RTCs, which is just whipping a core far away and then hitting a rocket hit scan into that core from a distance. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same principle, only a little bit harder, but it doesn't cost you any stamina, and it can be done from any distance. You've also got your CTR nukes, which is just the reverse. You're hitting a core into a rocket, but we don't care about that. It's not very strong. You've got core jams, which is hitting a core and then an enemy in the same hammer hit stop. Deals about 13 damage to one enemy. It's very good. Could be 17 if you red hit. You've got your hit stop nukes, which are kind of nice. You can trap a core inside of a hammer hit stop and then use the malicious rail cannon on it to get a free nuke without it being interrupted by other enemies shooting it or hitting themselves into it. And then finally, we have a fan favorite, Death Stars. If you stock a bunch of rockets using the freeze frame rocket launcher, you can use the Crux Jackhammer to fire them all off into hit scans, dealing about 9 damage each. And then finally, you can release a core after the last hit scan to add an additional hit scan for another 7 damage. Pretty decent wave start, but it's got enough drawbacks. The main 3 things I really want you to remember are the RTC nukes, the whip RTC nukes, and the double hammer boosts. Because these are going to be the 3 troublemakers that are urging me to make this video. Now, we're going to play a game. I've written down 7 changes to the Jackhammer and other features related to it since Fraud has released. Your job is to detect which changes help or hurt the Crux Jackhammer. Let's see if you're a Jackhammer scholar. Here goes. Fact. Enemies with rocket weaknesses now take bonus damage from rockets converted into hit scans. That was an easy one. The Crux Jackhammer uses rockets for a lot of its tech, so now it melts through Cerberus and Providences. 1 point for the Crux Jackhammer. Fact. You can now mount rockets by holding jump while pulling them with the whiplash. A lot of CE Jackhammer tech requires the use of rockets. Before patch 17C, that would require at least a dash and a use of the freeze frame rocket launcher, which at times was decently costly, especially when it comes to RTC nukes, which require a second dash to avoid the explosion. Now you can save an entire dash. Another point for the CE Jackhammer. Fact. You can now dive off of ridden rockets by pressing jump and slide in quick succession, changing your directional movement in a pinch. Yeah, you wouldn't think this helps the Crux Jackhammer, but it does. Normally, you can dive off of any rocket you're riding by pressing the slide button shortly after jumping, but you can also do this during hammer hit stop after having hit your ridden rocket during an RTC nuke or double hammer boost. Another CE Jackhammer W. Fact. You can now spear cores with the whiplash. While it definitely gives the CE shotgun time to shine, you can still utilize this mechanic and arguably to a better extent with the CE Jackhammer. Whip RTC nukes are pretty easy to do if you're already used to all the shenanigans between the CE Jackhammer and the freeze frame rocket launcher, and their existence can save you an extra stamina. More food for the CE Jackhammer. Fact. Jackhammers are now put on cooldown after 3 repeated yellow hits, which regulates hammer spam. This is true, but most of the crazy CE Jackhammer tech doesn't even use yellow hits. At least, the gauge of the hammer isn't counted when hitting rockets and cores. That's fine, but it means that even while the CE Jackhammer is clearly the strongest hammer of the 3, you're more incentivized to keep using it, while the other weaker ones have a tally on their uses. Go get him, Tiger. Fact: the CE Jackhammer's core and rocket hit scan conversions don't count as rail cannon hit scans anymore, affecting certain enemy weaknesses. Blah. Okay, this one doesn't help the CE Jackhammer. Phew. Radiant Virtues can't be one-shot by double hammer boost, nor core jam plus feedbacker punch anymore. Wow, I guess. It is kind of nice that you have to finish them off with a revolver shot now, but they also just take random damage from other enemies, so you can usually still one-shot them anyway. But hey, that's one technical nerf to the CE Jackhammer. Fact: many new enemies in the Fraud update require nuanced approaches to get Jackhammer value. So close, but we're back to another CE Jackhammer W. Providences can't be Whiplash 2, but can be killed instantly with an RTC nuke or a double hammer boost. Mirror Reapers are fast and tend to move forwards and backwards at random intervals, making it difficult to judge a melee hammer hit. Rocket Riding leaves them spamming their gas attack, which is easy to dodge on a rocket, and lets you spam double hammer boosts on them. Powers are small, mobile, and they're always on your tail. This makes it hard to set up a strong melee hit. RTC nukes can punish them if they group up on you, and double hammer boosts have generous hit stop to help aim your hits. Deathcatchers die to melee hammer hits all the same though, so I guess that's a plus. So you might be wondering, if this thing needs to be nerfed so bad, surely you have a suggestion for that. And the answer is yes, I do. I think that the Korajik Jackhammer's cooldown should be extended by another 2 seconds. Yep, I said it, the Korajik Jackhammer's core should have a 4-second cooldown. Being able to do all of the Korajik Jackhammer tech every 2 seconds is a bit absurd. Now with all of these changes making it so you don't have to spend so much stamina with these combos, and you can do it from a range thanks to the Whiplash, now more than ever, despite already being the best weapon in the game in my opinion, at least in the cyber grind, this thing needs to get nerfed. You can still do all of the crazy high damage tech, but if the cooldown were 4 seconds, you'd only be able to do all of these insane techs half the time, which I think would definitely highlight a lot of the current issues with the cyber grind, because a lot of people depend on the Korajik Jackhammer in order to just get by. I think it's really stupid that despite buffing the Korajik shotgun in a lot of really cool and interesting ways, we're left with the Korajik Jackhammer reaping half the benefits. I think it's really sad that this weapon dramatically overshadows its Jackhammer siblings as well, because while they're suffering the consequences of the nerf, the Korajik Jackhammer is just blatantly ignoring it and it's getting away with it. So if you're like me and you want to see some actual competition between the Korajik shotgun and the Korajik Jackhammer, you will echo my thoughts exactly in saying that this weapon deserves a nerf, and primarily a cooldown nerf. I think that it would be nice to separate the identities of the Korajik Jackhammer and the Korajik shotgun by their cooldown, given how much the Korajik Jackhammer's tech can scale really high. So yeah, this has been my rant. Tell me your thoughts in the comments, please. Become a YouTube member, join the Patreon if you want to support me. Like the video, subscribe, join the Discord. I think I've gotten everything out. Yeah, I'd love to see whoever the hell has the gall to disagree with this. Goodbye.